Imagine waking up every morning, fully aware that the day ahead is an opportunity to build the life you want. The key to creating that life, however, is not some grand gesture, but in the simple, consistent actions you take every day. Small habits, repeated consistently, form the foundation of every great success story. So, what are those actions? What must you do every single day to ensure you're always moving forward? Here are 5 things you must commit to doing every day. The first thing you do when you wake up should set the tone for your entire day. It's easy to let the morning slip into autopilot, but if you start each day with a sense of intention, everything else will follow. Think about why you're doing what you're doing. Why is today important? What's your purpose in everything you're about to undertake? Starting with purpose aligns your mind and actions, propelling you toward your goals. Without your health, nothing else matters. It's the most foundational thing you can take care of. Whether it's eating right, getting enough sleep, or exercising, take time every day to care for your body. A healthy mind and body give you the energy and focus to tackle everything else in your day. Make health non-negotiable. We live in a world obsessed with results, but the most successful individuals know that it's not the end goal that matters most. It's the daily work. The journey, the process, is what shapes who you become. Focus on doing your best each day and let the results take care of themselves. When you commit to the process, the outcome will follow. Growth is a continuous process, and every day presents an opportunity to improve. Whether it's reading a book, taking a course, or reflecting on your experiences, make it a habit to learn something every day. It doesn't have to be big, but as you build the habit of constant learning, you'll start to see massive growth over time. Lastly, take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. In the middle of all the busyness, gratitude reminds you of what truly matters. It shifts your focus away from scarcity and toward abundance. When you lead with gratitude, you stay grounded, positive, and motivated, even in the face of challenges. By integrating these 5 actions into your daily routine, you set yourself up for a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Remember, success is not a one-time event. It's the sum of the daily choices you make. Make today count, and tomorrow will follow. There's a common misconception in today's world that success is achieved through one grand moment of brilliance or a stroke of luck. It's easy to look at others who have made it and believe that they were in the right place at the right time. But the reality is, true success is built on the simple, often mundane, and sometimes unnoticed actions we take every single day. It is not about one significant leap, but about consistent, small steps that accumulate over time. Success is built upon small, daily actions, and consistency is the key to unlocking that. Think about the process of building a house. A house doesn't go up overnight. It's the result of many small, consistent actions, from laying the foundation to installing the roof. Each day, the workers do their part, brick by brick, nail by nail, until what was once just an idea becomes something tangible and meaningful. Success in life works the same way. It doesn't come in a single burst of energy, but from the continual effort of doing what needs to be done day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. The power of consistency lies in its ability to compound. Just like investing money, if you consistently invest your time and effort into something, even a small amount, it adds up over time. The person who practices their craft every day will inevitably become better at it than the person who only practices sporadically. The person who consistently shows up will eventually surpass the person who only shows up when it's convenient. It's the small, consistent actions that stack on top of one another and create the momentum necessary to achieve anything meaningful. Take a look at the habits of highly successful individuals. It's not that they are necessarily more talented or lucky than anyone else. It's that they've mastered the art of doing the work even when it's difficult or doesn't yield immediate rewards. They show up every day, whether they feel like it or not. They know that success isn't an event, it's a process. And the most important part of that process is the consistency of action. Consider athletes. An elite athlete doesn't become great by practicing only when they feel like it. They don't wait for inspiration to strike before putting in the work. Instead, they create habits of consistent training. Whether it's running drills, lifting weights, or practicing their craft, every day they show up and give their best. It's that relentless consistency that leads them to the top. And the same is true in any area of life, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth. The problem is, consistency is not always glamorous. It doesn't offer immediate rewards, and often it doesn't provide the instant gratification that we crave. We live in a world that loves quick fixes and shortcuts, but true lasting success doesn't work that way. The path to success is long, and it's often slow. It requires patience and persistence. It's about doing what needs to be done every day, even when the rewards aren't immediately visible. It's about trusting that the small actions you take now will pay off in the future. This doesn't mean that success is only about work. Consistency also means staying true to your values, maintaining a positive mindset, and fostering relationships that are built on trust and integrity. It's about being consistent in your approach to life, not just in the things you do, but in the way you show up as a person. The way you approach your work, your relationships, your health, and your mindset all matter. Consistency in these areas adds up too. It's not just about what you do, but how you do it. Consistency also has a compounding effect on your mindset. When you show up every day, even when it feels tough, you build resilience. The act of pushing through challenges and persevering, even in the face of adversity, strengthens your character. It shifts your mindset from one of uncertainty and doubt to one of confidence and self-belief. You begin to trust the process. You stop looking for immediate results and instead focus on the long-term gains. Over time, this becomes part of your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who is capable of achieving anything because you've already proven that you can stick to your goals, no matter how small the steps may seem. So remember this: success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the ideal conditions. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting the process. Consistency is the key that unlocks the door to all the opportunities, achievements, and rewards that come with success. Small actions, repeated day after day, will inevitably lead you to greatness. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to where you want to be. Success is not a matter of luck or talent. It's a matter of daily discipline. Make consistency your ally, and success will not be a matter of if, but when. Every great achievement, whether personal or professional, starts with one crucial factor: intention. Far too often, people approach life and their goals passively, drifting from one task to the next without ever clearly understanding why they're doing what they're doing. In order to create lasting success, it's essential to start with intention, a purposeful approach to every decision, every action, and every habit you cultivate. When you live with intention, you are consciously shaping the path to your long-term success, one purposeful step at a time. Starting with intention means having a clear understanding of what you want to achieve and why it matters to you. Success is not something that just happens by chance. It's the result of a deliberate choice to pursue specific goals. Without intention, goals become disconnected from your deeper values, making it harder to stay motivated when challenges arise. By starting with purpose, you give your life a direction, a clear vision of what you want to accomplish and why it's worth the effort. One of the most important aspects of intentional living is recognizing that your daily habits directly impact your future. Habits are the building blocks of success. Whether we realize it or not, our daily routines define the trajectory of our lives. If you want to achieve something great, it's not enough to simply dream about it or work hard sporadically. What truly makes a difference is the consistency of small, intentional actions that compound over time. Purpose-driven habits, even those that seem insignificant in the moment, create lasting change when practiced day in and day out. Take, for example, someone who wants to write a book. They may have the intention to write, but without clear, purposeful habits in place, such as setting aside a certain amount of time every day to write, they're unlikely to see progress. Starting with intention means identifying what actions will support your goal and committing to them consistently. It's not about working harder, but about working with focus, commitment, and purpose. Starting with intention also allows you to align your actions with your values. When your habits are driven by a deep sense of purpose, your actions feel meaningful, not just task-oriented. This is where true motivation comes from, a sense of alignment between what you do and why you do it. When you are clear about your why, you're much more likely to stay the course, even when obstacles arise. This sense of purpose acts as an anchor, keeping you grounded and focused as you navigate the ups and downs of the journey. Intentional living is not just about setting goals and achieving them. It's about cultivating habits that reflect who you want to become. Instead of focusing solely on outcomes, you focus on the process, on developing habits that are aligned with your values and the person you aspire to be. It's about committing to the work that goes into the result rather than just chasing the result itself. One of the key reasons people fail to follow through on their goals is that they don't set their intentions clearly enough from the start. Without clear intentions, it's easy to be distracted or pulled off course by external factors, and before you know it, your time and energy are spent on things that don't bring you closer to your desired outcomes. When you start with intention, you become more resilient to distractions. You recognize when you're moving off course, and you can quickly realign with your purpose. You understand that your daily decisions, no matter how small, are contributing to the larger picture. Building purpose-driven habits also requires a mindset shift from reacting to life circumstances to taking proactive control. Rather than allowing life's challenges to dictate your actions, you become intentional in choosing how to respond. Each day, you have the opportunity to choose your habits. These choices can either move you closer to your goals or keep you stuck in a cycle of inaction. By starting with intention, you take ownership of your life and the future you're creating, which is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Over time, your purposeful habits will shape your life in ways you may not even fully recognize in the moment. Just like a sculptor slowly chisels away at a block of marble to reveal a beautiful masterpiece, your daily habits will carve out a life of success, fulfillment, and meaning. It is in the small, consistent actions you take each day that your character and your future are built. Success does not come in a rush or all at once. It is the result of consistently showing up with intention day after day, knowing exactly why you are doing what you're doing and how it aligns with your broader vision. And as you continue to develop habits that reflect your deepest values and your ultimate goals, you'll begin to see that what you once thought of as distant dreams are now tangible achievements. So start today. Be intentional with your choices, your habits, and your actions. Focus on purpose-driven habits that are aligned with your deepest aspirations, and trust that over time, they will shape the future you desire. The most successful people don't just live by chance, they live with purpose. And by doing so, they create a life of impact, success, and meaning that lasts for the long term. In a world that often emphasizes results, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring success solely by the outcome. We are constantly bombarded with messages telling us to look at the end goal, whether it's a promotion at work, a finished project, or achieving a personal milestone. However, focusing exclusively on the outcome can create unnecessary pressure and may even lead to disappointment if things don't go as planned. True success is not just about reaching the destination, it's about appreciating and committing to the process that leads you there. When you focus only on the outcome, you risk overlooking the small, incremental steps that actually contribute to long-term success. The outcome, whether it's a big paycheck, a title, or a completed project, is often the culmination of countless hours of hard work, dedication, and persistence. These are the moments in the process that define your growth and are where true success resides. Without the right process, the outcome is simply a fleeting moment that will not sustain you for long. Focusing on the process means recognizing that every step along the way, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a vital part of the journey. It's in the daily grind, the consistent effort, and the countless iterations of trial and error that you build expertise, resilience, and character. The person who spends years perfecting their craft, learning from their failures, and improving incrementally is far more prepared for success than someone who solely chases the final prize. When you embrace the process, you develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, learning, and persistence. Those who focus on the process are more likely to enjoy the journey, find joy in small wins, and most importantly, learn from setbacks. Every challenge, every failure becomes an opportunity to learn and improve. Instead of viewing mistakes as obstacles, you begin to see them as valuable lessons that shape your success. The process is where you build the habits, skills, and mindset necessary for long-term growth. If you focus only on the end result, you might miss out on developing the attributes that will help you handle success when it comes. Think about athletes. Professional athletes, no matter their sport, don't simply focus on winning a game or securing a championship title. They focus on the training, the practices, the drills, and the mental preparation that go into performing at their best. They know that winning is the outcome of a dedicated process. If they didn't have that commitment to the process, the outcome would never be possible. In your personal and professional life, it's the daily choices, habits, and mindset that you cultivate over time that will create the results you desire. Success is not the result of a single burst of effort. It's about consistency and dedication to the process. When you focus on the process, you start to see the value in the effort itself, regardless of whether or not the outcome immediately materializes. Furthermore, focusing on the process allows you to find fulfillment in the journey. Too often, people set goals with the belief that achieving them will bring them lasting happiness or satisfaction. But once the goal is achieved, that feeling of fulfillment often fades and the cycle begins again. By focusing on the process, you learn to find fulfillment in the work itself. You can celebrate the small victories, the progress you make each day, and the growth you experience along the way. The process, in many ways, becomes its own reward. Focusing on the process fosters resilience. The road to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. When you focus only on the outcome, these challenges can feel like failures. But when you focus on the process, setbacks become part of the learning experience. Each difficulty you encounter becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, to adapt, and to refine your approach. The key to resilience is the understanding that the journey is full of ups and downs, and that's okay. It's all part of the process. So, how do you start shifting your mindset from focusing solely on the outcome to focusing on the process? Begin by setting small, achievable goals that are process-oriented. Instead of saying, I want to finish this project, say, I will dedicate 1 hour every day to working on this project. Instead of focusing on the final product, immerse yourself in the work. Enjoy the act of creating, of learning, and of developing your skills. As you shift your focus to the process, you'll begin to see the results naturally follow. In conclusion, success is not just about the final destination, but about the journey. When you focus on the process, you align your efforts with continuous growth and development, making the end goal just one of many milestones along the way. The process is where the real transformation happens, the consistent effort, the lessons learned, and the habits you build. So let go of the obsession with the outcome and instead embrace the beauty of the process. It is in the journey that you will find not only success, but also fulfillment, resilience, and the satisfaction of knowing that you gave your best every step of the way. In a world that celebrates hustle and productivity, it's easy to overlook the one thing that makes all of our accomplishments possible: our health. We are constantly encouraged to push harder, work longer hours, and juggle multiple responsibilities to achieve our goals. However, without taking care of ourselves, physically, mentally, and emotionally, none of our goals can truly be realized. Health is not a luxury or an afterthought. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Prioritizing self-care is not just a matter of feeling good, it is an essential practice for long-term success. When we talk about self-care, it's often reduced to a superficial idea like indulging in a spa day or getting a massage. While these things are certainly part of self-care, true self-care goes deeper. It's about establishing habits and routines that nourish your body, mind, and soul. It's about taking the time to listen to your body, to recharge your energy, and to give yourself the rest and resources you need to be the best version of yourself. The first and most important reason to prioritize self-care is that without your health, no other goal is achievable. You can set ambitious career goals, build relationships, or dream big, but if you're constantly running on empty, none of those things will come to fruition. The constant stress, lack of sleep, and poor nutrition that often accompany an unbalanced life can lead to burnout, illness, and mental fatigue. When your body and mind aren't in peak condition, everything else begins to suffer. Your ability to perform at your best, make sound decisions, and remain resilient in the face of challenges will be compromised. That's why taking care of yourself is not optional. It's a necessity for success. Physical health is the most obvious aspect of self-care. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient rest are all crucial for maintaining your energy levels and overall well-being. When you take the time to move your body, eat nourishing foods, and get enough sleep, you're not only enhancing your physical health, but you're also boosting your mental clarity and emotional stability. Exercise, for example, has been shown to reduce stress, improve mood, and increase cognitive function. When you feel good physically, you have the strength and stamina to tackle the challenges that come your way. Physical health is only one part of the equation. Mental and emotional well-being are equally important. In fact, our mental state often drives the choices we make regarding our physical health. If we're constantly stressed, overwhelmed, or anxious, it's much harder to make healthy choices. That's why mental and emotional self-care must also be prioritized. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, and journaling can help you manage stress, cultivate gratitude, and gain perspective. Taking time to disconnect from the noise of the world, reflect on your emotions, and process your thoughts can lead to greater mental clarity, reduced anxiety, and a deeper sense of inner peace. Self-care also includes setting boundaries. In today's connected world, we are often available 24/7, and this can take a toll on our health and well-being. It's important to recognize when you need to say no to certain demands in order to protect your energy. Whether it's taking a break from work or saying no to a social obligation, honoring your limits is a crucial part of self-care. By setting healthy boundaries, you protect your time, your energy, and your mental health, allowing you to show up as your best self in all areas of your life. Another key aspect of self-care is emotional self-awareness. Too often we ignore our emotional needs or suppress our feelings, believing that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. In reality, acknowledging and processing your emotions is a form of strength. Emotional self-care means recognizing when you're feeling overwhelmed, sad, angry, or stressed, and taking steps to address those feelings in a healthy way. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, seeking professional help, or simply taking time to reflect on what's causing your emotions, understanding and managing your feelings is essential to overall well-being. In order to truly thrive, you need to prioritize self-care every single day. It's not enough to rely on occasional breaks or temporary relief. Self-care must become a regular part of your routine. This means carving out time each day for activities that nourish your body, mind, and soul. It can be something as simple as taking a walk in nature, practicing deep breathing exercises, reading, or enjoying a healthy meal. The key is consistency. Just as you wouldn't expect your car to run without regular maintenance, you shouldn't expect your body and mind to function at their best without regular care and attention. Prioritizing self-care is not about being selfish. It's about understanding that your health is the foundation upon which everything else is built. When you take care of yourself, you are better equipped to take on the challenges of life, pursue your goals, and show up for the people you love. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you must first ensure that you are operating at your best. Self-care is an investment in your future success and happiness, so make self-care a priority. Don't wait until you're burned out or exhausted to take action. Start today by taking small steps toward improving your health and well-being. When you prioritize your health, everything else, your goals, your relationships, your dreams, will fall into place. Your health is the most valuable asset you have, and taking care of it is the most powerful thing you can do to achieve success in every area of your life. In a world that is constantly changing and evolving, one thing remains certain: growth happens when we step outside of our comfort zones. The act of embracing learning is not just about acquiring new knowledge, but about pushing ourselves to explore new ideas, challenge our assumptions, and break through the boundaries that limit our potential. It's easy to stay in a place of familiarity, where things feel safe and predictable, but true growth comes when we dare to stretch our limits and open ourselves up to new experiences. To embrace learning is to acknowledge that we are never truly finished. No matter how much we know, there is always something more to discover, something new to understand, and another skill to master. The world is full of opportunities for learning, but it's up to us to seek them out. Whether through formal education, self-study, or real-world experiences, learning is a lifelong journey that should be celebrated, not feared. It's in this constant pursuit of knowledge that we evolve into the people we are meant to become. At the heart of embracing learning is the willingness to push our boundaries. Boundaries are natural. They define the limits of our current understanding and abilities. But when we remain inside those boundaries for too long, we begin to stagnate. Growth only happens when we challenge those limits and step into the unknown. The process of pushing boundaries often feels uncomfortable, even unsettling. It requires us to face the uncertainty of not knowing everything, to take risks, and to experience failure. But it is through this very discomfort that we expand our horizons and develop resilience. Think about any breakthrough moment in your life, whether it's learning a new skill, achieving a goal, or overcoming a personal challenge. Each of these moments required you to step outside of what you already knew and be open to something new. Growth happens when we are willing to take on challenges that seem beyond our current abilities, because that is where the real transformation occurs. It's easy to stick with what we know, but true learning requires us to face the discomfort of uncertainty and trust that we are capable of adapting and improving. The key to embracing learning is cultivating a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, effort, and the willingness to learn from mistakes. Those with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as threats. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, but a necessary part of the learning process. By embracing challenges, they continue to evolve, becoming more capable and more confident with each new experience. Pushing boundaries is not about seeking out failure for the sake of it, but about understanding that failure is often a stepping stone on the path to success. The fear of failure often holds people back from pursuing new opportunities and stretching their limits. Yet, those who embrace learning know that failure is not the end, but rather a part of the journey. With each failure comes the chance to gain new insights, to adjust course, and to emerge stronger and more knowledgeable. The most successful people are not those who avoid failure, but those who learn to fail forward, using each setback as an opportunity to refine their approach and continue growing. It's important to recognize that learning is not always linear. There will be moments of frustration, confusion, and doubt. You may feel like you're not making progress or that you're not quite reaching the level of mastery you desire. But it's crucial to remember that growth is often messy and nonlinear. Just as a plant takes time to grow from a seed to a full bloom, your personal development requires patience, consistency, and a willingness to embrace the uncomfortable. Trust the process, and trust that every small effort, every failure, and every breakthrough is contributing to your growth. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing learning is the way it shapes your perspective. When you actively seek to learn, you begin to view the world differently. You become more open-minded, more curious, and more empathetic. You start to see challenges as opportunities to evolve and recognize that there is always something new to discover, even in the most familiar situations. This shift in perspective can lead to greater creativity, more effective problem-solving, and an increased ability to collaborate and connect with others. Furthermore, embracing learning enhances your ability to adapt to change. The world is moving faster than ever, and those who are resistant to change often find themselves left behind. But when you commit to learning, you equip yourself with the tools and knowledge to navigate the unknown. You become more flexible, more resilient, and better prepared to handle whatever challenges come your way. The more you learn, the more adaptable and capable you become. To truly embrace learning, it's important to be intentional about it. Set aside time for personal growth, whether it's through reading, taking courses, engaging in new experiences, or reflecting on your own journey. Seek out mentors who can guide you, and surround yourself with people who challenge you to think differently and push your boundaries. Be curious, ask questions, and remain open to new ideas and perspectives. Growth is a natural result of pushing our boundaries and embracing learning. It's through the challenges, the risks, and the discomforts of stepping outside our comfort zones that we expand our capabilities and deepen our understanding of the world. The willingness to embrace learning allows us to transform ourselves, adapt to change, and achieve things we never thought possible. Remember, the journey of learning is ongoing. There's always more to discover, more to explore, and more to become. Embrace the process and watch as your potential unfolds in ways you never imagined. In conclusion, the journey to success, growth, and fulfillment is rooted in the choices we make every day. Whether it's embracing learning, prioritizing self-care, or focusing on the process rather than just the outcome, each of these principles plays a critical role in shaping who we are and what we become. True progress happens when we push our boundaries, challenge our limits, and embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. And remember, it's not the end result that defines us, but the dedication, resilience, and commitment we put into the process. As we continue on this journey, let's make it a point to invest in ourselves, to nourish our bodies, minds, and spirits, and to never stop learning. Growth is a lifelong endeavor, and by keeping our focus on the journey, we unlock our full potential. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. May you go forward with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to embracing the process of growth in all areas of your life.